Joining us now is a world-renowned astrophysicist, Dr. Hakeem Oluseyi. Oluseyi was a distinguished professor of aerospace physics and space sciences at Florida Institute of Technology and has also taught at MIT, UC Berkeley, and University of Cape Town, to name a few. He also served as the Space Science Education Manager of the Science Mission Directorate at NASA headquarters in Washington, D.C., but now he can add author to his long list of accomplishments. His new book, A Quantum Life, My Unlikely Journey from the Street to the Stars, delves deep into Hakeem's childhood and how he navigated through a path of struggle, survival, and eventually triumph with the odds stacked against him. Hakeem Oluseyi speaks his truth and shows us how anything is possible. Dr. Oluseyi, we thank you so much for your time and joining us tonight.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
So you've detailed in your book all the ups and downs of your journey to becoming an astrophysicist. Growing up in the South, you say that you experienced how crime, drugs, and poverty can impact yourself and those around you, but you still managed to pull yourself through it. Can you explain to us your highest high and lowest low in pursuit of your educational and professional journey?
Yeah, so the lowest low is really easy. I did all the wrong moves, found myself a college dropout, and because I was living a dangerous life, I decided to leave that life behind me. I didn't actually accomplish it, but what I did do is I got a job, and the job that I could get that year was working as a janitor at a nearby hotel. And I found myself a college dropout. I was so poor at the time. I was making $4 an hour, could barely get 20 hours a week, that the way I'd eat many days was by eating people's leftover room service food. And, you know, that was my lowest point. I found myself homeless at times, found myself struggling to eat many times. But the triumph came when I began to, I found people that helped me out. I had the hustle, I had the hope, but I really needed a lot of help. And people did help me. And not least among them was my PhD advisor, Art Walker, who passed away in 2002. He was also the PhD advisor for our first female astronaut, Sally Ride. And, he and I published new information, discovering new things about our sun. And that, for me, was the highest point when I was able to make a new contribution to knowledge and do so with my mentor, who I love dearly.
And give us a sense, and I love that, by the way, that you had the hope and the hustle, but needed to get that help. Tell me about your biggest inspiration to become an astrophysicist.
Yeah, so, I started off being interested in the natural world, and the first person who pulled me in was Jacques Cousteau. So if you caught me at like 8 years old and asked me what I wanted to be, I would have said an oceanographer. But then, reading encyclopedias, I encountered Albert Einstein and his theories of relativity. And the thing about this relativity and quantum physics is that, sure, it's the natural world, which makes it interesting. But what made it super interesting to me is that it was weird. It was strange. I love weird, strange stuff. And what's stranger than time travel and lengths changing?
And before obtaining your master's and PhD at Stanford University, you attended one of the nation's oldest HBCUs for your undergraduate degree in Mississippi. During your time there, you ultimately had a breakthrough that you say led to you to explore astrophysics. Why do you feel that HBCUs are so important?
Oh, they absolutely are. I have no question in my mind that had I gone to Stanford University as an undergraduate, I wouldn't be here today. It was better for me to go to Tougaloo and then to Stanford University. And the reason why is because there is a great diversity in our community. There are people that come from families where their parents and their grandparents are highly educated. Then you have people like me, where nobody in your family graduated high school even, not my parents, my grandparents, or my siblings that were older than me. So they knew how to take care of a student like me. I showed up on campus without even having applied. I didn't know that that's how you get into college, right? I thought, I was in the top of my high school class. I'll get there and I'll have a full ride. Well, that's not the case. I finally ended up paying off my student loans. But they knew how to take people that were from my environment and turn them into successful professionals. So at the time, Tougaloo College was the top producer of African-American doctors in the nation and the top producer of African-American attorneys in the South. And when I went there, we produced like 3 PhDs in physics and 3 master's degrees in physics from just graduating 1 or 2 students a year. So they're doing something really special. And when you look at where the top scientists among African Americans come from, quite often they attended an HBCU as their undergrad.
And you talk a lot about being a black man in science. You've discussed the lack of representation within your academic and professional field, and also had experiences where you say that you felt your intellect was questioned simply because you're black.
Oh, yeah.
Explain to us the impact and how you managed to move forward through that.
Yeah, it's really funny how things work. So when you're young and you're encountering racism or things that hurt you in general, you wish to avoid them. So as a young person growing up in the Deep South, I developed what I called racist radar, right? If somebody spoke to me in a certain way, I know not to put myself in certain positions with them, right? Well, what triggers racist radar? When people talk to you like they think they're superior to you. Well, in academia, especially in physics, that happens normally, right? So it took me a while to realize, oh, you're not a racist, you're just a jerk. And it impacts your psyche differently when you know that it has nothing to do with circumstances of your birth, but really it's about that other person. So what I like to say is my blackness, being black, has never caused me any hardship, ever. But encountering people that discriminate against me or people that prejudge me, that is what causes me hardship.
You're not a racist, you're just a jerk. Sounds like a bumper sticker or something there. Lastly, just give us a sense for kids who are growing up in circumstances similar to your own. What advice would you give?
Well, the first thing is listen, when people are trying to make life difficult for you, don't quit. Let them kick you out, because they never do. And there's a lot that we do that is wrapped up in misconceptions, right? So, for example, I ask students, what does it take to get a college degree? And they'll talk about going to class and all this, and I tell them, no. All you got to do is go to college and don't leave. You'll get a degree, right? And what does it take? Or you hear someone where they say, oh, so-and-so got into Harvard. They must be brilliant. No, they must have been admitted. That's all that means. So understand how the world works. And it's hard to do when you're just new in the world, but fight, fight, fight. Your impossible dreams can be achieved.
His new book, A Quantum Life, My Unlikely Journey from the Street to the Stars, is available now wherever books are sold. Dr. Hakeem Oluseyi, such a pleasure to talk to you. We appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.